First of all, I would like to say welcome and thank you for joining us for our January Marana Insights. We each year put this program on pause through the holidays. So this is the first one in a couple months. So we're really excited to have you all here today and really excited about the programming and the information that will be coming out of today's program. This is one of our signature programs that we are incredibly, proud and know the importance of bringing this information to our community. I would like to thank everyone for coming today. In addition, like to thank you for switching to this virtual platform for us for this month as well as February. It really was the answer for kind of our organization and for our speakers today. So we're glad that you're here and glad that we're all ready to make these adjustments quickly. So thank you for being here. This is a really informative program that we're going to bring to you today, and we're actually seeing a lot of faces we haven't seen at our in-person. So we're really glad that you're here, and that's a great thing that we're able to reach people in this different conveniences for everybody. So glad that you're here. Additionally, I just want to share that my name is Amanda Wiggins. I'm the president and CEO of the Marana Chamber of Commerce and really proud to be able to serve this community in that capacity. A large piece of our chamber is understanding the big projects and the impacts that those have on our business community, and that's what we're going to feature today, as well as a few other updates from our community. So with that, I would like to extend that welcome one more time and introduce our moderator today. We are so excited and proud to have Jenny Huffman, who's the owner and broker of Imagine Realty, here with us today. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Jenny.
Okay, thank you so much, Amanda. Again, as Amanda said, I'm Jenny Huffman, owner broker of Imagine Realty Services. We're going to hear from Jerimiah Moerke and Doug Moerke. I'm hoping I pronounced that correctly. I hate murdering people's names. With ADOT, and they're going to give us an update on upcoming projects and other information. So Jerimiah, why don't you start?
All right, so again, I'm Jerimiah Moerke with ADOT Community Relations based here in the South Central District, and I'm here with Doug Moerke. We're going to be tag teaming the presentation this morning. This is our agenda. We're going to look at some current construction projects. Then we'll move into some upcoming projects in the Marana area, 2 projects in particular. And then if there's time, we'll look at some other, take a closer look at our 5-year plan for some issues further or projects further down the road, I should say. So we're going to start off with Doug talking about some current construction projects. Doug?
Thanks, Jerimiah. Good morning. Can I have a thumbs up? Can everyone hear me okay? Yeah. All right, thank you. Never certain in the virtual environment, but yeah, we appreciate everyone inviting us to be able to present on some of the ongoing projects and future work at ADOT. I'm Doug Moerke. I'm one of the 2 assistant district engineers for the South Central District. So I'm really delighted to be with you all virtually today. I thought we would start with a quick summary of some of our current construction projects. 2021 was actually really a banner year for the South Central District. We had 3 very large projects that came to conclusion. The first one that I'm sure a number of folks have driven through over the last couple of years was the I-10 and Ruthroff Camino del Cerro TI. The contractor here was Sunt Construction, with a contract value of $80 million. This one we bid a little interestingly, is we bid with a low bid with an A+B component. So the contractors actually bid the A part, which was the cost, and the B part, which was the time. So there was actually a value to the time, and there was incentives for completing the project up to 45 days below the scheduled time. So that was really successful for us. It really ended up completing right at the end of 2021. And it's just like, like Ina, it's a new diamond interchange with a bridge crossing over the Union Pacific. So the next project that wrapped up at the tail end of the year, again, it's another exciting project because it's our first diverging diamond in the South Central District. This is the Houghton Road TI on the southeast side of town. Ames Construction was the contractor on that with a contract value of $23.4 million. And really, the interesting part of this, as you can see on the right side of your screen, is traffic actually switches to what we would normally call the wrong side of the road as it crosses the interchange. And the benefit here is it provides a lot more free flow turning movements. So you can, when you have a lot of folks entering and exiting the interstate, you can really increase your capacity by using the diverging diamond. So if you haven't had a chance to drive out to that side of town, that's fully up and running. Yeah, it's an interesting drive-through to experience. The next project that I wanted to talk to is the SR-77 project, which is currently ongoing. It's actually a combination of 3 projects. We have SR-77, otherwise known as Miracle Mile and Oracle. The first project was I-10, the junction of I-10 up to River Road. That was basically a pavement preservation project. It included some ADA enhancements, a few signal improvements, and a little bit of work up at the bridge. The contractor for this, for all 3 of these projects, they were all bid as one, is Granite Construction. It was a low bid at $34.37 million, and they're virtually finished with the junction to I-10 River component. They have a little bit of work to do right up at the Wetmore area and up at just south of River. Then the second component is the River to Calle Concordia portion. That project is a little bit more involved. From River up to Ina, they're adding streetlights, and then from River all the way up to McGee, we're going to be adding curb, gutter, sidewalk. We're going to add in some drainage improvements, and then from McGee up to Calle Concordia, you've probably seen that's been paved. So that section is pretty well complete. The third component of this project is right at the McGee intersection at Oracle. The RTA, working with Pima County, was able to provide some funding that had been identified for a northbound to westbound, so turning left, heading north on Oracle, turning left onto McGee. We're going to add a dual left turn lane to help increase the turning movements through that intersection. So this is ongoing. It's anticipated to complete in early 2023. Excuse me real quick.
Okay, and next we're going to move on to 2 of the upcoming projects, and this is where we'll spend the bulk of our time today, is looking at 2 projects. One of them in particular we'll spend a little more time on, but these are the I-10 pavement life extension between Ina and Tangerine Roads, and then the I-10 reconstruction and widening from Ina to Ruthrop Roads. So first off, the pavement life extension between Ina and Tangerine Road. I don't know, I hope you can see on the map here, that's the name that we have within the ADOT system for the project, but the actual limits of the project actually run from just north of Ina Road, where the Ina Road Interchange project ended a couple years ago, all the way up to almost Marana Road. They actually go, the limits are actually a little bit past Tangerine Road. So we call it the Ina to Tangerine Road, but it actually goes a little closer up to Marana Road. And what this is, excuse me, is a pavement life extension project. So basically what we're doing is we're removing and replacing the riding surface of the road and also doing some spot repairs. Just to be clear, this isn't a full reconstruction. This isn't a full depth mill and overlay. This is the riding surface on the driving lanes and some spot repairs in the area that I mentioned between Marana Road and Ina Road. For the timeline, the bids closed on January 7th. We expect it'll be awarded in February, and construction will begin later this spring or into the early summer. And we expect the project to last about 3 months. So what to expect? I know anything on I-10 sounds a little bit intimidating, but this one is, we think it'll be relatively, the impact should be minor compared to a lot of work on I-10. All work will occur overnights. Right now in the contract, the scheduled times are 9 p.m. to 5 a.m., Sunday nights to Friday mornings. So that means during the day, all 3 lanes of I-10 will be open, all ramps will be open from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. And overnight, there will be lane reductions. I-10 will always be open with at least 1 lane in each direction. And all lanes will be open outside of those hours that I mentioned. And one other thing to note is when they are doing the paving, when they're working right near a ramp, they may need to close a ramp intermittently during those overnight hours. And we'll do our best to share information on those closures as they are planned. But these are the restrictions that we are anticipating on this project. Again, 9 p.m. to 5 a.m., Sunday nights till, well, Sunday night to Monday morning, Monday night to Tuesday morning, etc. So now I'm going to turn it back over to Doug here for a closer look at the I-10 reconstruction and widening between Ina and Ruthrop roads.
Thanks, Jeremiah. Yeah, this is the next real big project that's occurring in the South Central District. We completed the traffic interchanges on either end, and so what's going to be happening starting later this fall? I'll get into the specifics a little bit further in the presentation, but we're going to be reconstructing I-10 and adding that 4th lane from the Ruthroff, recently completed Ruthroff interchange all the way up to the Ina interchange. And so we're going to be not only widening, but reconstructing it at the different, at the wash and the creek. We're going to be adjusting the profile. If you've ever driven through there, you can kind of see that the frontage roads are a little bit higher than the main line. So we're going to be bringing all of that to uniformity. So yeah, it's going to go from 3 lanes to 4. We'll also add auxiliary lanes to create the 2-lane entrance and exit ramps. So entering and exit should be a lot smoother. And then from up at the Ina intersection, or the Ina TI, you'll see the dashed, or the black, kind of the black diamonds up by Ina. When that was constructed, because we didn't have 4 lanes to the south, only 3 final lanes were constructed at Ina. So we're going to have to come through and add, we just remove a little bit of pavement in the median and put in the new concrete riding surface to be able to add that 4th lane at Ina. We will be reconstructing the Orange Grove interchange. It's still going to function very similarly. We're adjusting the alignment, the main line a little bit. Orange Grove will still pass underneath, just like it does today. Primarily what we're going to be doing is again, enhancing the bridge crossings to provide the adequate vertical clearance. Sunset Road, we are actually going to be completely reconstructing, similar to what was done at Ina and at Ruthroff. We're going to be bringing Sunset Road over I-10, providing adequate clearance there. And then Pima County is working on a project, Sunset to the east, which I'll touch on in a minute. As I mentioned, we're going to reconstruct the two, the wash and the river crossings for vertical clearance as well. That has more to do with capacity of the channels. And then just the standard drainage, lighting, and some landscaping improvements. Now the project schedule, this has been a fairly quick schedule. We have funding for construction is all identified to occur at the end of fiscal year 22. So the design started back in December of 20. We're working on getting the project clearances, which by that is the right-of-way clearance, the environmental clearance, so that everything is properly cleared. Then we intend to advertise the project sometime in June, and construction would then start in fall of 22. And that whole reach of I-10 then would be fully completed and open to traffic in early 2025. So to do this, of course, we have to work through construction phasing. We need to maintain access along Interstate 10. We know how crucial it is to the community, as well as being able to, not only drive through on I-10, but enter and exit on I-10. So the intention will be kind of similar to what you've seen on some of the other improvements. Is we're going to move the existing I-10 traffic to the frontage roads. We'll make sure that we maintain access to all businesses during this period of time. And then the Orange Grove will be restricted. And I'll go into that a little bit further. Sunset Road, though, will be closed just because of the magnitude of the work that needs to occur. So if we look at it more in a map format, we've got a couple of main phases. And so phase A covers a little bit of what I discussed, where the mainline traffic is going to move over to the frontage roads. So you can kind of see on the right, the areas that are kind of reddish orange will be closed. And then the darker purple blue is where I-10 mainline traffic will be. And by Orange Grove being restricted, because we have to move traffic onto the frontage roads, we're going to be able to provide what would be the westbound, or what looks more like northbound, but the westbound exiting movement onto Orange Grove would still be in place. But the other three movements at that traffic interchange will be closed. Both Ina and Ruthroff, though, now that they're fully completed, will remain completely open and have the added capacity because of the recent improvements. So then once we're able to, and I guess I should also say, during phase A, right now there are three lanes of traffic on mainline I-10 in each direction. That will be maintained on the frontage road. So you'll still have 3 lanes, but the speeds will be reduced. So the ability to move through there will still function very similar to what mainline covers right now. Once we get the center portion complete, we'll move into phase B. And so on phase B, the mainline traffic is going to move onto the newly constructed main line, as you can kind of see in the darker blue purple color. And then a lot of the focus will be at the Sunset traffic interchange, because that's when we'll then have to build the ramps up to meet the new bridge grade. But Also, at that point, you'll kind of see a white circle there with a note that's, depending on the size of your screen, maybe a little difficult to read. There's going to be a point where we're going to have to fully close the Orange Grove ramp to be able to complete and reconstruct that westbound off ramp. So there will be a short period of time where that TI will be closed, but then we'll get that reopened while Sunset continues to be closed, and those ramps are being reconstructed. And again, during this time, Ina and Ruthroff will remain fully open. One of the other concerns, and Jeremiah, maybe if you can go back to the other one just for a second, you can see the loop identified. The loop, Chuck Huckleberry loop, crosses the I-10 at two locations, both the CDO and the Rito. So we understand how important the loop trail is to the community as well. And so Jeremiah, if you want to slip to the next one, we're really trying to minimize impact to the Chuck Huckleberry loop. We're going to have short-term closures crossing the freeway, some of the high-risk activities. We don't want to put anyone at risk when we're doing the demolition of the bridges or swinging the girders over to place them. But otherwise, our intention is to provide overhead protection, so both of those sections can be utilized. We also intend to always have one or the other open. We do not intend to close both at the same time. Jeremiah, you want to hit a couple of the project features?
Sure. So these snapshots or these renderings that you're looking at, they're part of a video or an animation that is available on our project website that actually runs through the whole project area, that shows what the I-10 essentially will look like between Ruthroff and Ina when the project is complete. But we pulled a couple snapshots to show you in this presentation. This is the rendering of the new, Orange Grove TI. And this is looking to the southeast. You can see the railroad and the underpass on the left. And I don't know if this is noticeable or not, but as Doug mentioned, one of the changes that will be occurring at Orange Grove is that the mainline I-10 alignment will be shifted slightly to the west. So you can see here the 4 through lanes in each direction on I-10. Orange Grove still going under I-10. And then the underpass not changing much under the railroad there. And then at Orange Grove, one of the aesthetic treatment that is, or the, artwork that is in development right now is a hummingbird concept. So this is kind of a rendering of that concept that is intended for Orange Grove. And then I wanted to also kind of highlight Sunset Road. This is looking in the exact opposite direction of Orange Grove. So this is looking to the northwest. The Santa Cruz River and the Big Pit is on the left side of the screen, and the UPRR is on the right. You can barely see the railroad on there, but yeah, I think you can kind of see the Rito maybe in the background as well. And so the main point here is that you'll see Sunset Road has essentially been flipped, similar to Ruthroff and Ina. Anything else I want to point out here? I don't think so. The alignments are pretty much the same, but just maybe to note that with this project that ADOT is constructing, we are constructing up to the UPRR, and I'll explain a little bit more in just a second here on that. But the aesthetic at Sunset is a Dragonfly. So that is the treatment that we are anticipating at Sunset Road. And just to what I was mentioning before, and also Doug mentioned this, there is a separate county project. The county is working on a project to extend Sunset Road over the UPRR and over the Rito to connect with River Road. That we are coordinating with the county on that project, but as of right now, that is a separate project. And I wanted to share the contact information of Carol Brickta with the county if you had questions about that particular project, because as I mentioned, as of now, that is not part of the ADOT project in the area, although we are coordinating and making it so that they'll match up nicely when they're all completed. Finally, in this presentation, I wanted to mention that the RTA Main Street program consulting services are available for this project. There are great resources for businesses, many consulting services, and for businesses that are in and immediately near the work zone. And Jan Walk-on is the business outreach liaison. I've included her telephone number and the email address for the project. So any businesses that are in that immediate area of the work zone between Ina and Ruthroff, I believe Jan has already reached out to you initially, but please feel free to reach out to her directly as well. So finally, on the website, this is the project website. It's azdot.gov/I10 Ina, the number 2 Ruthroff. If you don't write that down or get it written down wrong, you can also find it at azdot.gov, our main ADOT webpage, under the project tabs, and we're in the South Central District. So a couple of things I wanted to point out on the website. In the upper right-hand corner, there's the subscribe for updates box. That's where you can enter your email address and get email updates on any projects in the area. That'll include both projects that we mentioned tonight. What you're subscribing for, if you choose to do that, is the I-10 list between I-8 and I-19. So you can get any ADOT traffic alerts related to construction or maintenance on I-10 between I-8 and I-19. And that those renderings that I showed you earlier, the full animation of the area is available on the public meeting tab, along with a similar, it's not this exact presentation, but a very similar version of the presentation that we gave you today. It's actually a little bit longer. So you're welcome to take a look at that full presentation. All the graphics, all the materials that we provided you today are available on the public meeting tab. So with that, we are going to pause for questions here. And I wanted to share my information while you're asking questions. And then if there's time, we'll highlight a few other projects coming up in the 5-year plan, but we did want to pause for questions right here.
Okay, does anyone have any questions that they'd like to ask?
I may have missed it. What is the timeline for the last project?
For
the different phases.
Sure. The overall, right now, we're still having discussions on what the B component of the advertisement will be, but it's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 years from start to finish.
And we're estimating a start of this fall approximately is our best estimate at this point.
Okay.
That's helpful. Thank you.
Yes, does anyone else have any questions? Just go ahead and chime in if you'd like. If not, then we do have some time to kind of talk about some of the other projects that you had mentioned.
Okay, we can go into that. Do you want to, I'll go on here, Doug, do you want to cover these?
Sure.
This is
sure, yeah, if you want to. So each year, the state updates our 5-year construction program. And so right now we're operating under the 2022 to 2026 program. One of the big items that was identified as part of the statewide direction is a focus on pavement preservation. So the 5-year program, construction program, is broken down into 3 areas. And you can see kind of in the middle of the screen, a green P and a blue E There's P for pavement for preservation, there's E for expansion, and then there's M for modernization. And so the direction statewide after 2025 is to focus primarily on preservation of the system. So the number of expansion and modernization projects is statewide is minimal. They're really only occurring in the MAG and the PAG regions because those are the two regions that have additional funding sources. The rest of the state is really focused on pavement preservation. So what we did is try to do a real quick table of the areas within the PAG region and what those projects are to start with based on the interstate. So you're looking at I-10 right now, which on the left side, it shows the what year is identified for right-of-way acquisition, for design, for construction. And then on the right side, it talks about what dollars are in there. And in the middle, obviously, is a description of the project. So you can see we have some pavement preservation projects that are currently in the system and identified for construction. Jeremiah talked about the Tangerine, Ina to Tangerine. On the east side of town, we're hoping to do a pavement rehabilitation between Ajo, milepost 272. That's in the neighborhood of Kolb, which again would be kind of just removing and replacing the pavement and some upgrades to the bridge barrier and guardrail. We then have a bridge rehabilitation. The I-10 Ina to Ruthroff is the project that I discussed. That's the big widening project. I-10 Bras Aviation, that's part of the bottom two, the I-10 Bras Aviation, I-10 Country Club are all part of a design concept report that was recently completed between I-19 and Kolb, where there's been 18 different projects identified that to be able to expand and improve and modernize that reach of I-10. So these are the first two projects that are starting to make it into the system. You can kind of see they're in the out years, 25 and 26. And right now, it's just kind of minimal dollars for design and right-of-way acquisition. Then we get on to I-19. Again, we kind of have some pavement preservation projects that are occurring, trying to improve that riding surface for a hefty reach of I-19 from Pima Mine Road to Valencia, as well as from Valencia to State Route 86 or Ajo. The big project that we have down in this area, it's the expansion project, which is the improvement to the I-19 and Irvington traffic interchange. That's going to be similar to Ruthroff and or Ina. That we're actually anticipating that's going to be advertised for final design within the next couple of months. And the construction right now is currently slated on that to occur in fiscal year 25. Within Pima County, we have again, you can kind of see a whole lot of pavement preservation. I talked about Oracle from I-10 all the way up to Calle Concordia. We also have recently awarded pavement preservation from Calle Concordia all the way up to Tangerine. So that's actually going to occur this spring through the summer and wrap up this fall. Within Pima County out kind of to the southwest, we're also doing some pavement rehabilitation out on State Route 86 through the Tohono O'odham Nation, as well as 86 right as it comes in through the city of Tucson and ties in to I-19. There's also a program that was part of the RTA for some wildlife linkages out on State Route 86. They did some undercrossings a couple of years back, and now we're in the process of starting the final design on two wildlife crossings out on State Route 86 near Kit Peak. That those will actually be over State Route 86, similar to the crossing that's on 77 up in the town of Oro Valley. And so that's kind of a real quick breakdown of what we have coming in the current 5-year plan for the PAG region. Are there any questions that you may have on what's pending?
I don't know, guys. This is Jermaine from 1701. I don't know if it's a question, but it's more like a compliment because we're definitely seeing growth. And being a Tucsonian, it's just, will there ever be a time where there's no construction going on the freeways? I mean, it's good, but it's also like, with the traffic going back and forth, I hope the community understands it's a compliment because we have growth coming in the area.
That is a good point. It does always seem like as soon as one is done, another is starting. I wish we had the funding to kind of rip the Band-Aid off all at once. This section of I-10, typically it's modeled through 2025. So the improvements for this reach of I-10, you're going to have 4 lanes from downtown all the way up to Ina at this point. So that section really, based on traffic modeling, should be in pretty good shape through into the 2040s.
Okay. Do we have any other questions for the gentleman? No? Okay, thank you so much, Jeremiah and Doug. That was very informative and great to see the progress that's going to be happening. And
Thank you.
so fabulous.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. All right, so I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Curt Woody, giving us the Marana economic development updates. Go for it, Curt.
Morning, everyone. I'm going to share a couple of documents on my screen. Let me pull first one up here. Do you see the residential permitting numbers on your screen now?
Ah, yes.
So we went dark in November and December for our Marana Insights, and so was not able to give an end of year update. This is the end of calendar year 2021. We finished December with 96 permits, November with 85 permits, and then calendar year to date, 1,253. That is another new record for us pre-Great Recession. So for the past 10 years, our numbers keep continuing to go north, and we don't see that slowing down anytime soon. A lot of the growth is up in Northwest Marana. When you get up into the Tangerine area, the Gladden Farms. I've spoken about this before, that Crown West, the master developer of Gladden Farms, ran out of lots. So they purchased 300 acres from Macerich, had planned on doing some retail pre-Great Recession and perhaps an auto mall and those type of things. Those plans and models have now gone away. Crown West purchased those 300 acres, and along on their shirt tails came along 2 developers that took down 2/3 of that land for developments. And I'll now switch over to another screen. Okay, can you see this one here? Tangerine and I-10.
Yes. Yes.
So here's a couple of projects that we can talk about now. As you can see where it says Fortune 5 e-commerce company expansion area, Southern Arizona Logistics Center, kind of creates a triangle in there. That was the previous Macerich land. Crown West took down that entire area where it says Fortune 5 e-commerce company. A developer by the name of Van Trust, which does a lot of the Amazon facilities, will be building a 1.4 million square foot distribution logistics center on that property. Just to the north of that, where it says Southern Arizona Logistics Center, this is a developer out of Kansas City by the name of Flint Development. They will be building a 500,000 square foot and a 400,000 square foot spec building of combination industrial, commercial, manufacturing, and distribution as well. Their model is that they'll start with their spec buildings, and by the time they complete them, they've already got tenants in the buildings. What's nice about these two is that they're not already spoken for in the logistics area. So we can place manufacturing in those two facilities as we get those PIFs that come across our desk from ACA and from Sun Corridor. The expansion area just to the north of that, Crown West was going to reserve that for residential, single family and multifamily, but Flint Development has really pushed to take down that area as well for additional manufacturing and industrial uses. They are in escrow as we speak. When we get down close to the interstate there, you see Roche there. Roche is finishing up their second building, 60,000 square feet. The first one was primarily distribution. The second one will be about 140 jobs of manufacturing. Adjacent to that will be Southwest Gas. We've spoken about this project in the past. It's 23 acres. It'll be a fairly sizable regional operations center. And then there's also a couple of other small projects going in down towards the interchange as well. When you get over on the east side, that's where our challenges were in the past, is that we did not have utilities over there. So everything was on wells and commercial septic systems for businesses. We now have water punching under Interstate 10 at Tangerine right now because of the Mandarina development, that where you see it says North Adonis Road. There'll be about 2,500 home development area going north and along the freeway. They've pulled that water under the highway there. At Moore Road, they pulled wastewater. So now that we're getting utilities on the east side of I-10, that really lights up a lot of opportunities for the commercial and industrial markets. This is the hot area. It's if you talked to me a year ago, I was kind of complaining about needing manufacturing distribution boxes up in the North Marana area. The entire 300 acres is spoken for, and now we're looking to the east side of I-10 on Tangerine and heading up towards Dove Mountain Boulevard. With all of the additional businesses in this area, we know it's going to turn on some improvements to the interchange area. We're not sure exactly what that looks like. Probably mostly in the ramps, exit and entrance ramps, because we'll have a considerable amount of traffic just from these new businesses. So we're still looking at that. I know ADOT's looking at the TIAs also as well. And it's going to be a busy time. There's going to be quite a bit of work going on, not only on Interstate 10 with ADOT projects, but also our projects up here in the north. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Hey, Curtis, Jerimiah here from 1701. I do have a quick question. You mentioned utilities on the east side. Now, does the utilities also include broadband?
Sorry, I had to go to mute. I was getting a drink of water. Yes, broadband will be on that side as well.
Okay. Good. Does anyone else have any questions? Just feel free to pipe up because I can't see everybody now. Okay.
Within about a year and a half, these projects are moving forward. They're getting their plans completed. So in that triangle, within a year to year and a half, we're going to be under construction of 2.4 million square feet of industrial product.
You know, Curt, do they have any idea kind of what the employment numbers are going to look like?
Amazon will be in the range of 1,500 employees. At peak, they'll be up to 2,000. It's still yet to be determined on the other two spec buildings. It'll all depend on what goes in there.
Okay. All right. And then we have a question in the chat about what's going on at Silver Bell and Ina.
Silver Bell and Ina is the what they call the last mile model for Amazon. It's 220,000 square feet of distribution. The one up here is more of a regional distribution center. It's 1.4 million square feet. They're under construction at Ina and Silver Bell. If you drive by there, they're just about to go vertical. I've been by there in a little bit. They may already be going vertical with their steel. And then just north of that is an apartment complex that's under construction as well.
Yeah, I just went by there earlier this week and the walls are up. So it's definitely moving on.
Oh, it is going fast then.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anyone else have any questions? No? Okay, well, with that, looks like things are definitely moving at a nice, swift pace. And just wanted to say thank you, everyone, for being here. And then Amanda, you want to make any closing comments?
Yes, thank you all for being here. Thank you to our speakers as well as our incredible moderator today. We have two events that I just want to bring to your attention. We have Marana Mornings next week. That's going to be at Barnfire Mesquite Grill on the February 2nd. That's our February program for our networking breakfast. Then we have on February 10th, a talent pipeline and education panel luncheon. So we hope you can attend that. We have leaders from Marana Unified School District, Pima JTED, Pima Community College, Arizona Tech Parks, as well as University of Arizona, with George Kennedy moderating that panel. So we hope that you will be able to attend that incredible luncheon. We just sent out our e-news, so the link to register will be in the e-news in your inbox. So with that, thank you so much for attending. This will be recorded, and you can look at this later. There's so much great information. Thank you to all of our speakers today.
Yes, thank you. And everybody have a great and safe rest of your week.
Thanks, guys. Be safe out there.
Oh, Rebecca just asked a question. What about the state of the town?
State of the town, thanks, Rebecca. So that is April 14th, and in your e-news, the sponsorship and business expo packets just went out. So be the first to get that. We always sell out on our business expo very quickly. So that's at the Ritz-Carlton Dove Mount, and it's a luncheon on April 14th. Thank you, Rebecca.
Okay.